This is where the fires hurt most. Just up the road in Seabreeze Avenue, it's now known that 3 people perished. All around me, homes are reduced to blackened rubble, but miraculously others are still standing, spared from the flames. And the rain, which came as such relief, now matches the mood here in Ferny Creek.
Once the smoke and flames had disappeared, only agony was left.
It's just so peaceful, it was just too perfect.
Slowly, residents of the Dandenongs returned to their homes, some not ready for what they found.
I lost my mother last year and feels exactly the same.
There was a human toll as well. 3 dead in the basement of their home, huddled together trying to escape the ferocious wall of flames that eventually claimed them. It was here the worst of the inferno hit hardest. A fireball racing up the hill, and within minutes, 32 houses in 3 streets of Ferny Creek burnt to embers. Piles of rubble, sheets of tin already rusting, and brick chimneys standing sentinel over the devastation.
But I've got a wife and a son, and the wife having another baby, and that's more to me than this. I can always rebuild a house, you know.
Workers are still desperately trying to restore essential services to the area, and still on standby the hundreds of volunteers who in many different ways became heroes for those whose houses, possessions and lives were saved.
We plan our resources so that we don't wear them out. That's the main thing that we, as I say, many hours, many days of committed towards securing the fire area.
Most homes continued to smoulder until finally, 24 hours after the first fires began, nature delivered the knockout blow. Heavy rain forecast for last night arrived much to the relief of exhausted firefighters. Fog replaced smoke, creating an eerie setting for the destruction. The rain turning the ground baked by the searing flames into rivulets of water and mud. But it could have been even worse. 2 large Canadair water bombers were used to break the back of the fire at a time when 300 units on the ground appeared to have again lost control, as the cool change initially brought with it fierce winds. There were several scares during the night, but firefighters managed to keep check on hotspots. It allowed some people to return to their burnt homes briefly to save what they could.
Lost everything? We got most of it, yeah. All upstairs is burnt out.
Now the awful realisation facing police, fires which have caused so much suffering may have been deliberately lit.
Well, there's been several people, suspects from the general public that have been spoken to, but at this stage it's no more than just a suspect.
Mike Amor, 7 Nightly News.
The fire came through here with a terrifying roar, destroying dreams in minutes. First there was just smoke, and then swirling winds, then a terrifying fireball which left a young couple and their neighbourhood dead as they sought shelter.
Winding and narrow streets in Ferny Creek bore the brunt of the wildfire. It was here along a steep ridge that 32 homes were destroyed. Alpine Road was the worst hit, with 14 homes burnt to the ground. Mount View Road and Seabreeze Avenue were also ravaged severely. Residents who fled the terrifying wall of flame returned to find their homes gutted, with nothing left to salvage.
The noise and with that hot wind, it was just the conditions that were perfect for a good fire like this, and it's done its job. Nature's done its job.
12-year-old Darcy Shue watched in horror as flames devoured his home.
Dad looks down and all these flames creeping up. It seemed as if there was about 20 times my height.
Several people lost their houses as they gallantly tried to save their neighbours' homes.
I put out the first couple of little spot fires in the guttering, but then just the third one was a bit further along. The others didn't have a chance, just took off and couldn't reach it.
The worst heartbreak is here in a small pocket of Ferny Creek, where not only dozens of homes have been destroyed, but the CFA's worst fears were confirmed, several residents losing their lives. Ironically, it was one of the most substantial brick homes in Seabreeze Avenue that burst into flames, claiming the lives of a man and woman in their 20s. Their bodies were discovered under the house. It appears they'd been seeking shelter from the inferno when it engulfed their home.
I understand that they are a couple, a husband and wife.
You believe they're the residents of that property?
I believe so.
Then, late today, police and SES volunteers located a third body, huddled with the first 2 victims. Police believe it to be the body of the missing woman. It seems she took refuge at her neighbour's home and tragically perished with them, taking the death toll to 3. Dean Allen Craig, 7 Nightly News.
From here in Ferny Creek to Upwey, residents have been returning to find out if their homes are still standing. For some, the agony of loss. but for others it's been a relief to find their houses still standing amid the blackened forest. Darren Linton reports on a day of fears, tears, but some joy.
After the terror comes the pain.
Yeah, we knew the other end was burning. We didn't know how far it had come. I've got to go.
In the streets surrounding Seabreeze Avenue, only a handful of residents arrive home to find they still have one. Dan Hartley is lucky.
I didn't know it was still standing until I stopped there in front of you.
Mark and Rosemary Sims try to take the loss of their mountain hideaway on the chin, laughing and joking as they sift through the charred relics of their life together.
It was Mark's 40th birthday yesterday.
Yeah, my birthday yesterday it was. 40. We're going to celebrate up here. We invited all the friends around.
On Saturday, if you want to come for a sausage sizzle.
But the tears are never far from the surface.
Bloody heartbreaking, that is for sure.
Local real estate agent Trevor Bell's house has been reduced to a pile of smoking bricks. But he escaped the danger. He's on holiday in Queensland with his wife and 4 sons. His sister Rosalie Day has to break the news.
There's nothing left. Not a thing. They've got nothing. I mean, they've got a few beach clothes with them. That's it. Everything's gone.
It's impossible to work out why some homes survived the devastation. Old timber homesteads escaped with barely a scorch mark, while modern brick buildings in the same street were reduced to rubble. John Irving has shutters and a watering system fitted to his house, but even with the safety measures, he arrived home just in time to put out the flames. Most will rebuild, but so much of what has been lost cannot be replaced. Darren Linton, 7 Nightly News.
And great as the losses are, they would have been far worse without the efforts of men and women who came from all over the state to fight the flames. Today's rain is the best ally for those fire heroes.
Across Victoria's fire front, a gift from above gave thousands of homeowners a second chance. The Canadair water bombers are heroes to these people, but the pilots say the CFA hesitated to summon their help.
I have no doubts that had we been here earlier, we could have we've done more damage and prevented some of the fire spread.
But there were also heroes on the ground. Wave after wave arrived from all corners of the state to relieve the exhausted, many sleeping where they fell. For some, the support was overwhelming.
Absolutely fantastic. It's been a little bit emotional because it's what we went through yesterday here, seeing houses and people stretched out and bringing people in that lost their homes.
As Mark Goodchild was out fighting to save other people's homes, his own family tragedy was unfolding at Upper Ferntree Gully.
We've got a Ford station wagon, we filled it up and it all got burnt.
I'm stunned. It's awful. The things that I really valued, the things that meant the most to me, my children's Christmas presents, things that were valuable to them, we've lost it.
But even as the fire surrounded homes, some owners stood their ground, determined to take on incredible odds. Andrew Galbraith managed to save his own property, but the adjoining 50-square home he built for his parents all but disappeared. Yet he's thankful his family survived.
We've got our lives, but really, anything that we build can be replaced.
Kelly Russell, 7 Nightly News.
And already Australians are opening their hearts for the victims. Donations of food, clothes and money are pouring in for those people who've been left with nothing more than the few possessions they managed to salvage from the flames.
As stunned victims struggled to come to terms with the extent of their loss, a massive relief operation was already in full swing.
You really do get an overwhelming response from everybody to pitch in and help, which is really great.
With the Premier Interstate Community Services Minister Dr Dennis Napthine toured the Dandenongs with a promise of government assistance for those affected by the blazes.
There's a range of grants and assistance that these people are eligible for re-establishing their lives, re-establishing their houses, and we'll work with them to provide that sort of assistance as well.